Hello, hello. Hi. Happy Wednesday night.
Happy Wednesday night. Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can. Perfect.
Okay, great.
I have a lot of junk here in the background. I don't usually.
That's okay.
I
have a lot of junk in the background here too, but I'm gonna actually be talking about junk. So.
Well, I'm in my husband's office, and I actually just did a full plunge. I went on my private page, and I just did a live. And
Okay.
that's why I was asking how many people could come on here, because I don't know. I might get one person interested. I might get no people, but why not? Why not?
Well, I think that Candace is recording it. So
Okay, perfect.
A lot of times people will be able to catch the replay anyway. So because I know that most people are going to catch the replay, Alexa, off. I'm just going to go ahead and get started.
Perfect.
So let me make sure Alexa is off. Yeah, okay. So if you could just mute yourself, just in case there's any background noise or anything, that would be great for the replay. All right, so my name is Shannon Massey. Hi, and I am in Memphis, Tennessee. I am a director with Monat. Started as a customer the day they launched in the United States, almost 5.5 years ago, which blows my mind. I was actually I heard about Monat the month before they launched from someone I didn't even know. She had reached out to me on Facebook, and she didn't know it because we didn't know each other, but I was actually losing my hair at the time because, let me grab a picture. Hold on one second. Because my favorite person on the planet, my dad, had just died the month before after a 13-month cancer battle. This picture was taken about 2 months before he died. The hospice people had a little veterans ceremony at our house for him. So I was actually holding him up in this picture because he couldn't stand by himself. And I'd got my hair done at the salon that day, so it looked pretty good there, but normally it was fried and dry and brittle and falling out because of the stress that I was going through with him dying. And he passed away about 2 weeks after that picture was taken. So I started as a customer the day the company launched. And within about 8 shampoos, I noticed my hair was not coming out in the shower and in my food and everywhere on my clothes the way it had been. And also by about 3.5 weeks, it was shiny, it was healthier. My husband prior to Monat could not run his hands through my hair because it was the dried up bird's nest hay bale, and now my hair is so healthy that you can run your hands through it and it's all shiny and all that kind of stuff. I will be 50 years old in less than 2 months, and I have not loved my hair like this since I was a little girl. So I've been using the products for almost 5.5 years now. And hey, if you're just now joining, please mute yourself. We are recording it, and I want to make sure that everybody can hear it. And I don't think I have the ability to mute you guys. So started as a customer the day the company launched, and it's been crazy. My husband is a police officer. He is my high school sweetheart. Yesterday we had met 37 years ago, and we've got 4 sons. They are 17, 21, 25, and 27. And we always lived paycheck to paycheck. Police officers don't get paid nearly what they're worth. And for the first 11 years of our kids' lives, I stayed home with them. So we were broke as a joke. And eventually I did have to go back to work simply because we couldn't afford for me to stay home anymore. And we were drowning in debt and just couldn't even make ends meet anymore. So I was working in customer service or client services for a global commercial real estate company and leasing company, and was staring at 3 screens all day long, running Excel reports and talking to clients about their rents that were due and stuff like that. And so started on Monat, loved my results, upgraded to a market partner 28 days later, and it just took off from there. So we lived beyond paycheck to paycheck before Monat. Like our money would run out mid-month, and there would be, it was not at all uncommon for me to call the utility company every month and say, hey, what's the minimum I could pay on this to keep my lights on? That was just normal for us. You know, that was just commonplace. That was almost a monthly thing. So our kids were, I homeschooled them for a little while, and then we put them in a small Christian private school, one at a time, as we could sort of afford for them to go there, but we got tremendous financial aid from the schools. And we also worked 2 or 3 jobs each to make up for the difference. So that was just normal life for us. We had a wonderful family. I have a loving husband, wonderful, respectful sons, but we never had any money. Therefore, we never went on any kind of luxury vacations. We actually went to the beach once. And that was because somebody we went to church with let us use their condo for a week. And it was a beautiful 1-bedroom condo. My kids slept on pallets on the floor. We had a blast, and it didn't cost us anything other than, you know, our food and stuff. But that was the only beach vacation we had ever been on, because someone from our church let us use their condo. So I wanted to talk about travel with Monat and kind of what it's been like for 5.5 years and what you can experience with Monat with travel. So, you know, Monat is an incredibly generous company, one of a kind, 1 in a million, diamond in the rough, amazing company, incredible. I know everyone who, from the owners to the executive staff, very well as someone who's been with this company from the day they launched, and they're incredible. Such a blessing. Absolutely such a blessing. Very generous. One of the biggest blessings with Monat has been the travel. So whereas we had never taken a luxury vacation before, some of the places that I've been to since I joined this company and this business of helping people with their hair and their skin now, I went to the New York City launch. I was one of 5 people to earn the trip to the New York City launch about 2 months after the company launched. And that was surreal. They flew us up to New York City, and it was just magical. And that was where I first really met the owners of the company and everything, and just got a feel for what this company was all about and who was leading this company. So that was about 2 months after the company launched. 4 months after the company launched, I was one of 30 people to earn a cruise to the Bahamas. So leading up to becoming a customer with Monat, the day that they launched, my hair was falling out because we had just taken care of this person, my dad, for 13 months in our home during his stage 4 lung cancer battle. And he unfortunately did pass away in our home in August of 2014. And as he was dying, my hair was falling out. So that was August that he died. He did die in his bedroom in our home. And the company launched 7 weeks later. And when he was dying, when he was on hospice those final few weeks at our house, my 4 sons and myself, except for my youngest, because he was only 11 at the time, we were having to give my dad morphine every two hours under his tongue and stuff like that, just to manage his pain. And my dad was the fabric of my family's lives. My 4 boys, he taught them all how to play sports. He never missed a sporting event. He never missed a school play or anything like that. He was just part of our family and the fabric of our lives. So it was devastating to watch him die in our home. I mean, we're grateful we got to care for him. He said it was the best year of his life, and I will always remember that. But it broke my heart, and it broke my kids' hearts. My 4 boys absolutely adored their papa, and it was heartbreaking. So they were so compassionate and loving to him through their own heartbreak that when I earned this trip to the Bahamas 4 months into my Monat business, I surprised my husband and 2 of my boys and took them with me. Now, 2 of them couldn't go because of school and work. It's not like I just chose 2 of the 4 to go, but 2 couldn't go. And you heard me say earlier, we had never been on any kind of luxury vacation. Vacations for us before Monat was like driving from Memphis to Nashville, which is 3 hours from here. So I remember being on the phone with the travel agent, and I was going to surprise my husband and the two boys who could go, Chase and Michael, and pay for them to come on the cruise with me and all that. And I did. And I remember crying on the phone with the travel agent because I was able to buy their tickets with one of my Monat paychecks. This was 4 months into a business that I never even meant to be a business. And it was surreal. So we went on this cruise to the Bahamas, had an amazing time, and I wanted to give that to them as a way of thanking them for taking care of my dad, their papa, during this last 13 months of his life. So, oh, hey, if you're just popping on, can you mute yourself, please? So that was, so I took them on there. We had an amazing time, and that was the second trip. So within 4 months of starting, I'd already been to New York City and the Bahamas cruise. Later that year, this was in 2015, I earned a trip to Cabo San Lucas, Mexico. And surreal again, but let me tell you why this one was significant. Number one, I didn't even have a passport. I'd never been hardly out of Tennessee, much less Mexico. So, and also many years ago, I suffered from what's called agoraphobia, where I had a fear of even leaving my house. So to get to a place in my life where I was traveling, sometimes by myself, but here we were, the chance to go to Mexico, and I had a lot of anxiety about it because, again, I didn't even have a passport. But I got a passport, and I tell you, one of the things through this company and this business is just the belief that you build up in yourself, and that was a big step for me. So I went to Cabo San Lucas, Mexico, had an amazing time there. Some of the trips that Monat has put out there and allowed us to earn in the last 5 years are to San Francisco. We went on a cruise to Bermuda year before last. We went to they took the directors to Phoenix, Arizona, and surprised us. And we knew we had to get on these charter buses at like 5 a.m. And they drove us out. We didn't even know where we were going. They drove us out into the desert while it was still dark. And as the sun's coming up and we arrive at our destination, there's all these hot air balloons. And they took us hot air ballooning with the sunrise over the desert in Arizona. And then they landed us about an hour later in the desert, where they had this spread of tables and umbrellas and everything, and a chef set up out there and made us brunch in the middle of the desert where they landed us after this hot air balloon. I mean, this company is amazing. So we've gone to Cabo San Lucas, we've been to Cancun, we've been to San Francisco, we've been to Camelback Mountain, Arizona, we've been to Seattle, Washington. This was a really cool trip because we went to Seattle, you know, the big tower in Seattle. Well, right below it is the Chihuly Glass Museum. And actually the top, you look through the ceiling of the Chihuly Glass Museum and you see the needle. It's a space needle there. And they had our dinner inside the Chihuly Glass Museum. And it was amazing. If you've never seen the blown glass from Chihuly, look it up. It was just magical. I mean, again, this is the kind of company we're talking about here. They're extraordinary. What are some of the other trips that we've been on? And behind me here, I don't know if you guys can see this, but I've got all my badges from all of my trips. And this just represents what this company does and allows us to have. I mean, there's badges from Nashville, Chicago, San Francisco, Miami, the cruises, just incredible. So we're getting ready now. I just booked our flights today for Vegas. We're going to Vegas for the 4th time next month. Every year they have what's called their reunion trip, and it's to Vegas. So we're going on our 4th trip to Vegas in April. I had never been to Vegas before Monat, and now we're going back again. And now we have an entire team that's going with us because they make these trips so attainable. The new big trip that they announced last month that qualification just started for is to Punta Cana, Dominican Republic in November. So anybody who becomes a market partner now can earn this trip to Punta Cana I think it's November 4th through the 7th. So the qualification period is through July. So what an amazing trip that's going to be. And I tell you, from hardly leaving Tennessee to being on, I think it's 15 trips now in the past 5 years, seeing God's incredible country and experiencing food from other cultures, and it's like royalty. I mean, it's like your Cinderella. The flights are paid for, the resorts are paid for. Just since June, we went to the Bahamas in June. We went to Cancun in November, and I just got back from Grand Cayman last month. These are trips that Monat pays for. I mean, it's like, I feel like Cinderella, and it's not just me. They make these trips so that, you know what it is. Their philosophy is, the owners of Monat, the Urdaneta family, they want to give their market partners, who they consider family, a chance to experience things and see things that maybe they wouldn't be able to see otherwise. It's really as simple as that. And boy, do they. And when they take us to these places, you come back to your room every night and there's something on your bed. It's just like, they're so good to us. So that was really what I wanted to talk about tonight. It's just the trips. Just if you like travel, if you want to see things that maybe you don't get to see, it's so healthy for the mind and the soul to get out occasionally and see something different than the four walls that you're used to looking at all the time, or that the humdrum of the daily grind all the time. It's so healthy for your mind physically or psychologically, and your body physically, to go out and see something else. And how awesome is it when someone else is paying for it? Let's just be honest here. So that was the aspect of the company I wanted to talk about tonight. Is just, the car program is great. You can earn a Cadillac. You don't have to be a director. You can get to smack dab in the middle of the comp plan to earn your Cadillac. I've got one sitting in my garage. I drove a Kia Soul before I got my Cadillac, the little gerbil car, which I happen to love, by the way. But the Cadillac's fine. The income to change your family, well, we went from living paycheck to paycheck with about $50,000 in debt to paying all that off. We rented 4 houses across 9 years, moving our kids around for that 9-year period of time. And because we didn't even have a savings account, how were we going to buy a house? To buying our own home, September 2018, because of Monat. It was completely my Monat income that saved up the down payment for this house. And all of that is amazing, but I love the travel because there's so much fun traveling with your friends, traveling with your team, seeing things, experiencing things, eating food, snorkeling or hot air ballooning over the desert, or all these things that we definitely would not be doing had Monat not come along. So that's what I wanted to talk about, is the trip. So again, right now, just announced last month, opportunity to go to Dominican Republic in November, and the qualification just started for that. Anybody can earn this trip. You've got till the end of July to earn it. So if someone shares this video with you, go back to them, find out more about it, and earn it. Earn it. Work with your sponsor and do it. And there's even an opportunity to earn a tier of this trip where you get to take your spouse and even upgrade to this fancy suite, and they pay for all that too. So if y'all have any questions, just go back to the person who shared the video with you. And let me grab my glasses here. If you're watching the replay, and they will be happy to answer any questions, and share the replay. Share the replay with somebody who might want to earn some income, whether it be a side income or even replace a full-time income, and who might want to do some traveling and have someone else pay for it, because that is very much a blessing. So I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good night. See you soon. Bye.